Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, you're very good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Well, great show. What really struck me about this show, it's a fantasy series, but what really struck me was the diversity of the faces. Like, it's so weird that, I mean, it's odd, right? That we're not seeing real world on TV, but now we are. So what is it like being part of this cast?
No, it's amazing. I think, fantasy, there's been incredible shows and films that have kind of pushed boundaries in different ways, but I also think it's been quite lacking in terms of its representation on screen, really. And I think, to reflect the world that we live in today, to have a real kind of diverse international cast is something that I'm really proud to be involved in.
Too.
And it didn't feel like forced. It just felt like something that was quite timely. And it just felt quite contemporary in the way that the show has been adapted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we go to Emmanuel?
Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Amazing show so far from what I've seen. I want to know, being that these are beloved characters in a fantasy series, what did you gentlemen do to prepare to try and make sure to capture what fans love about them?
I guess at first there was a script which was so well written, and when we were auditioning for this, we did not know who we were auditioning for. We didn't have any information really, only that it was the Wheel of Time. So I guess we all had to go with our intuition, and that came quite naturally, I think, with all of us, hopefully. And so there was the script, and then of course the second source were the books, and there are many of them, and that's a lot of material as an actor to sink your teeth in. Try to understand the world of the Wheel of Time, and with its different cultures and different beliefs, and of course try to get the essence of your character. And then there was the skill sets we needed to learn, like horse riding and stunts and archery for me, and for me that was also an element of dialect, because I was unfamiliar with the British accent. So that was all part of the preparation, but it was really the script and the books that helped to try to understand the character and get an idea of who Rand was for me.
Great. Can we have a question from Brittany from Nerds and Beyond?
Yes, hi. I was curious, since your group is sort of playing like childhood best friends, you guys, small town, known each other since you were babies. What was the cast bonding like? Did it begin after you were cast, while you were on set? And was it made challenging at all because of pandemic requirements?
Yeah, I think at the start we were kind of, we all had to relocate to Prague for like 10 months initially, and we got put into these kind of training camps to do horse riding and stunt work and sword fighting. So, we were having all these new experiences together, so you kind of form bonds. But then, yeah, to be on a show that kind of stops and starts, and you have this world sort of global pandemic hit you on a first season, you kind of become stronger, and you realize in that moment, you realize that there's things bigger than a TV show, and you hope everyone's okay. But then when you come back to it, you realize that people definitely still want to escape and have real kind of magical worlds to escape into. So it's been amazing to share this with everyone we've got in season 1 there.
Awesome, thank you.
Can we go to Sarah next from That Hashtag Show?
Yes, hi fellas, thank you for talking with us today. I wanted to ask you, like, as we know, this series has a huge book fandom, but for those that aren't familiar with this world at all, why do you think viewers should give this a chance?
It's different in for me in many ways. First of all, it's in this world, women are the ones that are in control. If men have power or use the one power, they abuse it. And I guess it's a matter of finding the balance again in the world. And what else? But I guess for me, the most special thing is the characters. That the characters feel real and human. And I hope that's something that you also have probably seen the first episode, that you take that away from the first episode, that they the relationships feel real, and that culture of the two rivers that is so lovingly and mature.
Yeah, I think there's a character for everyone who the audiences are going to relate to and identify with. I think the characters are so kind of contrasting in different ways that there's going to be someone for each audience member to kind of relate to, I think.
And that it's not so, we just keep going, but that it's not, so there are many things, I guess, but that it's not simply good against evil, but it's not so black and white, there are many shades of gray in between. Is it bad if you do, is it bad if you are trying to survive or protect the ones you love? And those are interesting questions in the fantasy world.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we go back to Lupe?
I think you actually skipped me. Comic speak.
Sorry, Comic Speak. Sorry, Therese.
No, it's okay. So my actual question is about your characters. What was the most challenging and rewarding thing when it came to playing your characters?
Challenging and rewarding thing.
I think for me, to play Perrin in particular, what was quite challenging is that, he doesn't actually say a lot for a main character. He's very kind of introspective and quite quiet. So I think being able to portray everything that he's going through and everything that he's feeling, through very nuanced looks and body language was something that was quite challenging to transform onto screen. But he also is a very complex character who has different sides to him. So I think as an actor, that's really, really fulfilling to play.
Yeah, for me it was, besides from the performance, to try to portray that goodness in Rand as honest as I possibly, as genuine as I possibly could. What could get in the way of that was the dialect, because I was unfamiliar with the British accent. I wanted to be free, so I really had to get that down, get it into my bones, so I could portray it in the way that I think this is the essence of Rand, at least,
Yeah, man.
that idea.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So if we go back to Lupe, thank you.
So when you see Rosamund Pike, when I saw her, she's in this fantasy, we haven't seen her in that kind of a role yet. So for you guys, were you excited to work with somebody of her caliber?
Yeah, absolutely. As a young actor, it's so amazing to work with such a brilliant actress. She's a leader by example. And, I look up to her as an actress and as a person. And, we've worked a lot with her, and it's just an amazing experience that I'm able to learn from her and watch her every day. And I think she really brings an intriguing mystery to the character, accurate, well-weighed, sharp, and I think it's really something else that she's showing now.
And I think it was, like you said, it was quite of a new experience for her, which, although she's got an incredible CV and done amazing things, on the first table read, she kind of turned to me and was like, I'm so nervous. This is quite a big thing for me. And instantly you felt like she was on this journey with us together, and that kind of camaraderie has not really left really. And it's so amazing to have someone there who's almost like a mentor, but also you feel is right there beside you to help you.
Thank you.
So if we go back to Emmanuel.
As you developed your characters in season 1, what are some characteristics that stuck with you that you really liked about the particular person you're playing?
I think what I really appreciate in Rand is that he's willing to sacrifice everything for love. He's willing to go very far in that, and willing to dive very, very deep. And that's where I want to go as an actor as well, And I guess the question is, how far are you willing to go as an actor, and how far are they letting you go?
Nice.
It will be exciting, if we hopefully we're able to make more seasons.
Yeah, and I think for Perrin, I think there's a thoughtfulness and a kind of a considered approach to everything he does, which I think is quite cool. And in particular to violence, which he has a relationship throughout season 1. He always has an inner monologue of like, should I be embracing this or should I be getting involved in this? And I think that's quite a contemporary look on warfare and violence, particularly in fantasy. So I think that was something that's definitely stayed with me whilst doing this part.
Thank you.
Cheers, bro.
Therese, do you have another question?
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Is that for me?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Yes, so I actually wanted to know, you guys do a lot of traveling as characters in the show. What was the most difficult part about filming some of those scenes where you're, out just in the world?
It got cold. It got very cold at some point. Yeah, I think filming some scenes, outside, which, like you said, it's amazing to film in the woods, in the wilderness, and it is, it's stunning scenery. But I think for some scenes in the winter in Prague, it does get quite particularly icy. But I think you had a scene where you were just lying on the floor and it was like winter at night,
Raining, shivering, with not a lot of costume on. But I guess as an actor, that's what you want. We go on this, the characters, they go on this journey, and we as actors, we also go on this journey, through, we have seen all the forest of, the whole countryside of the Czech Republic and Slovenia and Croatia. So as an actor, that struggle that the characters feel, as an actor, I love it when you have the same,
Great, thank you.
for the sake of the art.
Should we go back to Brittany?
Sure. Hi. I was curious because fantasy language can get very complex, and Wheel of Time's vocabulary is like particularly complicated. And there's like a glossary at the back of the books, but like I was wondering what the sort of show's approach to that language was, and what you guys sort of did to sort of help familiarize yourselves with it, and if there was like tricks to helping make it feel more natural.
Well, I guess these as these characters go out into the world, the audience is being introduced to all these terms and all these places, but the characters are as well. So that's that, I guess that's the same. It's all because they grew up in the Two Rivers, and they're quite unfamiliar. It's really unknown territory, and as it is for the audience.
Yeah. So I think as the characters are kind of finding out new cultures and new worlds, and like you said, new languages and things, it probably will seem quite overwhelming, but I think that kind of matches that it feels quite overwhelming in the books when everything's new. And I think it will be quite similar when you're watching the show. And I think that's how it is, that this world is so expansive that new things are coming in, and this season is basically about establishing as much as possible, really. So I think it's really exciting with all the new languages and cultures and people that you come across.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
So last question goes to Sarah. Thank you.
No pressure. Make it a good one. I'm going to ask you guys this to end it. As actors, we know the Wheel of Time has like 14 books, which is more than Game of Thrones, more than Lord of the Rings combined. So how does it feel that when this is very successful with more seasons, that this could possibly be your world for a decade?
It's hard to anticipate such a thing. See him wait. We're just doing the press of the first season now. I really feel very fortunate that we're shooting the second season now, and of course I hope as well that we'll be able to do more seasons and to explore these characters.
Yeah, I think just from what we've done in season 2, obviously we can't really talk about that, but just seeing the trajectories of where the characters go already, just from like season 1, season 2, is so exciting. And it would be amazing to kind of grow up with these characters alongside them. I don't think that's an opportunity you get that often as an actor. So yeah, fingers crossed people like him.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks everybody. That's our time. So thanks very much for your questions.